Yo, this is Weeks back with another video. A couple things I want to talk about before we continue our new profile series is I've been having some lag issues in the past and some frame rate drops. So today I have reinstalled everything on my computer, reinstalled Windows, all that fun stuff. But it's possible that some of my settings aren't quite right. So if anyone has any suggestions on things I should change after seeing this video, please leave it down below in the comments. But yeah, we're going to continue our new profile series. We last left off with the Ranger, we died to the Watcher, and we didn't have a lot of money in town to really give him a good shot in the beginning. But after thinking about that run a little more, it seemed like two things were happening. One was I basically got hit by the Watcher balls too much, took a lot of ignite damage, which we can reduce by leveling the Warlock some more, or trying to get him done. But we've beaten the first three bosses with the Warlock, so there's not much resist we can get unless we feel like we can beat the Watcher with the Warlock. Another thing we can do is try to beat it on another class, and then skip it on the Ranger by using the portal, or any other classes by using the portal, and then come back later when we have more damage, when we have more health, when we have more levels, and everything's just a little easier. So I think I'm going to do that. So today, we're going to be playing the Paladin. So I'm going to start off with the Paladin. He's also level 8, so he's starting to get pretty strong. Oh, and since I redid everything, all these settings have been kind of destroyed, I guess. Oh no. Alright. Okay, well it kept my keybinds at least. So I guess we'll add a couple other things to this video. So this will be settings you want to change when you first start the game. I've already changed the resolution. If you go into the graphics, it normally will bump you up to like your highest resolution, which will make the game look like this. You'll be like super zoomed in. So this is how a lot of people I see are playing if they're streaming the game or something like that. Maybe not quite this drastic, maybe like one of these other resolutions like this one here. If you have a, depends on like your monitor and your video card which one it's going to do off the bat. But this is like a little zoomed out, but we want to go like really zoomed out. So what I've noticed is these 1366 or 1360s, these have been the best resolutions, at least for me, for the game. So now I can see like a lot of the tower, or a lot of the town. But I would just suggest, because it really depends on your monitor and your video card, just messing around with those resolutions until you get a screen similar to mine. Alright, so I want to get this other stuff off the screen, so we did mouse, we did tab, player menu, guild hall, and I have F as used. Alright, I want to rebind that. Okay, so I'm going to also change keybinds, so controls, keyboard and mouse, and I'll just talk about what I like to do. So the strategy that I usually do is I am moving with WASD, and I'm not going to basically be pressing any of the keys with my left hand. Normally Q and E are like skill abilities, but what I've noticed is if you're trying to move to the left or move to the right, so if you need to hit the Q key while you're holding down A, you have to stop moving for a brief second, hit the Q, or you have to move your index finger, which I always want to be able to completely move. So I don't want to be having to stop and then do the ability. I want to be able to continuously be able to move all the time. So I have a 5-button mouse, which means I just have the 2 buttons on the side, 1 button here, left click, right click. So left click, I have my sword, right click, I have my second ability. One of the 2 buttons on the side is, well, one's lay on hands and one is the whirlwind. So I just put them on there, and I use the same key bindings for all my characters. And then for the use thing, it has a F by default, but I don't use that. I use a scroll wheel up and down. And then for potions, I use spacebar. So that makes it to where I never have to move my fingers off of the movement keys, which movement is super important in this game, and I can always cast all my abilities no matter what's going on. So I'm gonna double check my controls, make sure that is correct. There's a couple things else you can do. You can bind like multiple keys to the same key, which isn't really useful for the Paladin, but could be useful for classes like the Gladiator, maybe even the Sorcerer, where you want to use his left click and his right click at the same time. This is specifically for the gladiator. So you'll always be throwing nets at the same time that you're attacking, so you always get that damage bonus. That's something you can do. But I just changed that when I'm playing that character. So let me make sure everything is right. Active skills. Yeah, I have mouse 4 and mouse 5. Potion R. Player menu. Guildhall overlay. Use. Alright, I want to change use to scroll up, and I also want to change it. Wait, I thought I could do two. Scroll up, scroll down. There we go. So now I have both for the use. So basically what that means is as I'm moving around with my WASD keys, I can do like a drive-by. I don't have to like stop and like try to move my hands. I can just quickly spam my scroll wheel. You can probably hear it on this new mouse, and I'll instantly talk to the people. So it just kind of helps with like picking up an item off the ground really quick while enemies are chasing you or they're around you, or like running to a door and running in it real quick. It just kind of helps. So those are some things I'd recommend. There's also some other controls that you can use. Let me see if I can find them. These are the game controls. Let me see. Bear with me for a moment. Yeah, game controls. All right, I do the aim guide, which is I get this little line off of the edge of my cursor that shows what direction my character is facing. I'll just go ahead and show it. So yeah, as I move my cursor around, it shows me. So if my character's hidden or like something, I have a ton of enemies around me. Let's try to do like an example. I'm like hidden behind something. I have a ton of enemies. I can't really see my character, but I need to be able to face the enemies to either attack them or to block with the shield. I want to be able to see what direction my character is. And it helps like if I'm stuck, you know, in a corner or like over here or something, and I want to charge a certain direction, I know I'm not about to charge into the wall. I'm going to be charging this way. So it's very helpful to have the aim guide for certain classes. And if you get confused, it'll throw the aim guide the other way. So it'll help like you realize you're confused quicker. All right, some more game settings we're going to look at. Screen shake, I haven't even really noticed that. Show key count is very nice to have. It'll show your keys up at the top. Instead of just the icon of the keys, it'll show how many of each you have. So I like that. You can mess around with the mini map. I usually just do a small one so I can see over there. Big is a little too crazy for me, but I do a small mini map over there. What else do I do? Player names, you can do that. Real player names and floating text. I usually do no floating text unless I'm like testing something, because I don't really need to see how much mana I need before I can cast my next skill. I don't really need to see my damage numbers, because if there's like 50 enemies and you're attacking, all you're going to see is just a bunch of numbers. You can't see your character or like any projectiles coming at you or anything like that. So I leave all that out. Alright, so this video turned into a little bit extra, but I wanted to address that stuff anyway. I might make a separate video for that at some point in the future. But let's get to the actual run. So I don't have any stars. We can look at my skills. I have like rank 4 sword, rank 3 shield, and 1 rank in all the others. So I'm going to be looking to do like a more serious run. So I'm going to be... I don't have enough ore to go upgrade anything, or I would go do that, but let's look for some damage. So we have some damage, we have some armor. This could be good. We can only get common items. Also getting something that would stun or disarm would be very good. So I'm going to give it a couple of rolls and see if I find something better than this, because if I can get 3 damage items, I would rather that over armor, movement speed, and then attack power. I would say like this is defense, this is utility, that's damage. So I'm going to try to get like 3 damage type things. That's utility, that's defense, and that is also utility. Regen, I don't really count regen as something that's ever worth getting. So regen, damage, and defense. Spike flail, damage, potion, I'll say that's utility. Aberrations are only in like Act 4, don't really care about that. So it was 2 damage. This utility is really high though. Being able to disarm or be able to stun something, super good. That's kind of defense with a little bit of damage, and that's like some utility. I might just take it just because it has the gladiator's net, and it's 10% chance to disarm while I'm attacking. If I had more stuff unlocked at the anvil, we could look at more things, but you can also look at items in here. I think it shows you items even if you haven't discovered them, but basically we can look at the white items that exist in the game and kind of compare it to what we have and see what would be the perfect stuff, right? So we have gliders net, we have a 10% chance to disarm them for 3 seconds on our primary attack, which, you know, we're only going to be doing primary attacks pretty much. Defender's Halberd, we get hit, it disarms for 2. So one is like an offensive way to disarm, and one is a defensive way to disarm. And then another thing that's similar is Blackjack, 10% chance to stun for 2 seconds. So stun and disarm are essentially the same. If something is disarmed, they don't really attack you. So this is like the best of the 3, I would say. But Defender's Halberd's also good just because once you get hit, then it starts disarming, so it kind of stops the damage that you're about to take. Alright, so we got that. We're going to want to buy some keys. Let's see, we're going to try to beat the Watcher. That's going to be our goal. So I'm going to get like 5 gold keys, maybe 9 silver keys, 9 bronze keys. I don't think I really need to spend any money on the fountain. I'm still ignoring that I found the anvil, even though there's nothing really for me to craft there. We'll come back to that in a second. Let's see if there's any drinks I need. I can't convert ore into gold. We still don't have enough gold to do everything we want, but maybe there's a potion I want to use. Alright, none of these are really great for my current character. I would definitely use Groovy Ghost if I found it. Gives you some evasion at the cost of some damage. Alright, we already have that. So I think we're pretty good on upgrades. We haven't unlocked that guy yet. I don't think, yeah. We haven't unlocked that guy yet. What else? Do we have any more potion upgrades? I should probably look to upgrade him soon, because my potion is... It heals for 150, which I'm starting to get over that with no items. Once I get more items, I might get 200, 300 health, and potions aren't going to do nearly enough. Anyway, we'll just jump into the fountain. I'm going to go General Traps. I'm going to go Toppled Towers, hopefully. We're going to do Safe Corridors. I would like the movement speed, but I don't expect to be able to keep it. I would like the luck, but don't expect to be able to keep it. Same with Imps. We have Lay on Hands, so I'm not too worried about the more potion charges in this case. Abundant Shops, Infrequent Threats. Monoliths are good. Glass Walk, Treasure Hunt. Demolished Spawners would be good. We'll see. So that's all the stuff I would like to have, but that's 38 favor, so we'd have to get a lot of negatives to be able to run this. Lousy Consumables, we have Lay on Hands again, so we don't really need that. More enemies, it's always fine. It's kind of like a benefit. Relentless Threats, I'm not going to do that on the Paladin, just because I feel like ghosts are going to do a lot of damage to me. So I'm not going to go Relentless Threats. Enemy Overseers, just more chance at items. Movement speed's fine. I want elevators to be usable. I might not need wells. And we're still over 17. So we got to knock some of these out. Let's, I'll get rid of the movement speed. I'll get rid of the luck. I'll get rid of the demolished spawners. I can deal with that. And what else can we get rid of? Let's get rid of Toppled Towers. 4. I guess I'll get rid of Imps, but Imps can be really good. Lost Walk, Treasure Hunt. I guess I gotta think about, am I gonna be doing the first floor and then skipping with the portal and then actually playing through? Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. So we'll go Treasure Hunt, turned off, and I'll do Toppled Towers. So that makes me a 0 balance. Alright, we'll work with that one. Just gonna throw the extra money in there. And yeah, we should be good to go. Alright, so we got our keybinds, so yeah. Maybe I should have gone over keybinds earlier in some of the settings, but either way, in case you didn't know about that stuff, you now know. Oh, I have these lines, so that means my resolution is slightly off. I'm going to change it to this one and see if the lines go away. Alright, yeah, lines went away, so this is the resolution that works best for me. I knew it was one of the 1300 ones. I'm going to grab the monolith last, because I'm going to clear out the whole floor, just because I want to go as far as I can. And then I'm hoping that that thing is a nice benefit. Hello? Yes. It's out of phone call, so cutting the video right there. But hey, we found an imp, and the imp gave us some gold. How much gold did we get? Like 1,000? It's kind of decent. Go ahead and heal up. Heal up a little bit at least. Yeah, Paladin's starting to feel really strong. As I get some more levels, get the shield up a little more, get the sword attack up a little more, we're gonna have like crazy damage. At least for this point in the game. Nice, some free armor. Always take it, especially as a melee class. Ore, 2 ore, sounds good. Like avoiding the mana. I should have just picked it up, but I don't know. Usually I can just ignore it. So I'm just like passively ignoring it anyway. Alright. My disarm chance is still pretty low, so I can't like rely on it too much. And yeah, that whirlwind damage is great when I have mana for it. I'm not used to the buttons on the new mouse, so I was doing lay on hands instead of the spin move. Whirlwind. Oh, monolith, before I forget. Let's go grab that. So you could play through all the floors if you wanted. I'm just going to go ahead and skip them, because I think you get... I just feel like you get way more XP if you jump to the late game. So as long as you can handle it, I may like waste some of these keys by not having stuff to open, and if I die then, you know, I waste the keys in a different way, but we're risking it. If you don't feel like risking it, then I would say don't skip. I'm trying to move around while attacking, avoiding projectiles. You can also use the box as like a way to LOS and make the rangers come to you. I can try to highlight in some of the other ones. That one didn't work as well since there was like ranged enemies on all sides. Alright, so my keybinds are backwards. I think that's actually what it is. So let me go back to control, and I'm going to do... This is mouse 4. Mouse 5. This is mouse 4. Mouse 5. Okay. I think that's right at least. We'll know soon enough. Alright, we do have a place we can deposit. We're not going to see the shopkeep until later. So I'm okay with depositing after I finish clearing out this floor. Just in case like everything goes bad, we'll at least be able to have some money for the next run. Yeah, we're just like chewing through these hacks. Our damage is like really insane right now. Anyway. So I'm hoping that'll help with getting past the Watcher. Forgot how annoying he is for like a new character. Especially a character that doesn't have any way to sustain his health and doesn't have any way to move around like very quickly. Like sure you have the evasion skill, but you have to have mana to use it, and your mana regen isn't very good at this point. So I'm thinking charge will be very nice. Okay, more ore. Still getting my buttons confused. I think it's just the new mouse and not being used to the size of the new buttons. They were smaller before. Need to put in some more game hours with it. Alright, let me go back down to get the diamond and some of the gold. And we'll be ready to go to the next act. I guess keys as well. Free key. And we'll deposit 2. So we'll have 10 ore in town. I think that might be enough to upgrade like the apothecary, or maybe unlock the next level of the shop, because that would be nice to get at some point. So we can start rolling for green items instead of just white items, common items. Alright, so yeah, you can stand behind the cube and it kind of forces the ranged enemies to come towards you. It doesn't work as well when there's ranged enemies on all sides of you, but it's like a thing you can keep in mind. You can do the same thing with the statues in Act 3. You can use them as like a pillar. Yeah, and just burn it. Shield breaker. Some nice armor items. And yeah, skip to Act 3. So for this act, we don't even have to kill the statues because we're going to skip it. The statues just open the door. We don't even need to worry about that because we don't care about opening the door. We just care about getting some loot and some money. And then skipping to Act 4. These guys hurt. But luckily, we have a good way to heal ourselves. A little worried when a lot of melee stack up like that. We don't have... The disarm isn't super reliable at 10% and no luck. As we get some of the more anvil patterns, we can start attuning the items so it acts as if we have 2 of them. And when we increase our luck, it'll be even better. And then we'll have stunning blows on top of the... what's it called? On top of the chance to disarm. It'll be even better. So I'm just killing these guys for some XP. Could maybe try to like save more of my monolith. But I want to make sure I can go and get all these chests while I'm here. Alright, so that's the portal. I guess you could use the same strategy if you haven't found the anvil or the wizard, and you're impatient or just want to find it. You can skip to Act 3 and keep doing this. It's also like good for XP. I could just start playing through the game right now. Okay, gotta wait a second on the trap. We don't have infrequent threats going, so I think I can get away with doing the trap now. Alright, let's grab this money and we'll go to Act 4. Those projectiles hurt. If you're not blocking them. You can block them, so you can always move. That's a good time to level. Still can't block the mage. I'm gonna do that ignite on you. hurts. Yeah, alright, it's gonna be a struggle to skip to Act 4, but I think we can do it. Just have to chill out a little bit. So unfortunately, like, the longer you take to kill the cube, the worse, like, loot you get. But I'd rather get worse loot than die here. Alright, I guess I'll wait on mana for the whirlwind attacks as well. We can do a lot of cube damage. Something's getting me. Alright, got a potion. Wow, more ignites. Maybe we're not strong enough. Ooh, got hit by that one. We turned the wrong way. It feels bad. Avoid that. Get my heal. I can use my other potion, but I might need it versus the Watcher. Alright, we gotta use it. Wow, we didn't hit the mage. That's a bummer. Hit by something there. Alright. Maybe it wasn't the best idea. Could we have done differently? The wisps just do a lot of damage to us right now. So I'm thinking maybe we do like the same strategy next time, but actually play through Act 3. Maybe play through the whole game to get better items from the shop. Having the choice of items versus random ones from chest is kind of a big difference. But, you know, you gotta try things out to learn. So anyway. That's a little bit of the Paladin. What else do we need? Maybe getting stunning blows will help as well. We've unlocked 4, so we can hopefully upgrade that and the shield a little bit more soon. Restores 5 health plus 2% of max. And then chance to block magic damage. I mean, getting some ranks on that, but it increases the mana cost. Also, Flames of Devotion is huge damage. So if we can just get some levels, we can get Flames of Devotion, we can get Shield, we can get Sword, and a point in Stunning Blows, and that'll probably really help push the character to the next level. Anyway, that was kind of a bust as far as trying that plan out. I think maybe I'm rushing the Watcher a little too fast. But let's see, can we upgrade anything else in the town? Even getting an extra Apothecary might be good to get some more potion effectiveness and potion charges. General store. Makes them cheaper and I can start getting green items. I think I'm gonna go for it. Anyway, that's gonna be the episode for today. Hope you guys learned something with the keybinds and maybe some ways you can mess around with the portal to try to skip bosses. If you're challenged too much on one character for a boss, you can maybe skip it and do it on another character and then go back later. Because once I've beaten the Watcher on one of my characters, I can skip it on all the other ones, and then I can come back later when they're stronger, when my talent's better, when I have more stars for their skills, all that kind of stuff. So that was kind of the logic behind it. And we'll figure out what we're going to do next time, and I'll see you guys there.